Welcome back to CEO Money. It's Michael Yorba, and we're going to be bringing on Arch Crawford. He has been one of the most consistent market timers. Matter of fact, he's been on the cover of Market Timing as one of the best market timers in the globe several times. And we're going to talk about some of the key market turning points that he sees coming up here in the near future. Some of them are pretty big. And when I was talking to Arch earlier today, he was talking about the potential for a huge move coming up throughout November and the end of the year. But inside of those moves, he's got key dates. So, Arch, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Well,
Arch, you were talking to me earlier today saying that you see a massive move to the upside coming up in the near term with the markets, but you've also got some key dates that you want to make everybody aware of. So let me back up and give you a chance to open that up for us.
all right. Well, I keep the astronomic cycles, and there's at least 4 cycles of Mars are topping out between December the 2nd and then into late January. So all 4 are up into that period, and I think it will be spectacular. Since we're already having quite a spectacular market, it should really be something. It could be like, if you remember the fall of 1999, where I think the NASDAQ doubled in 6 months. Well, it's already getting there, and I think we could spike up again in November and develop the top sometime during December or January. So I'm looking for that period now. In terms of the immediate market, on the short term, we look a little overbought and are rolling over in terms of momentum on the MACDs and the RSIs and whatnot. Also, we've had a sudden explosion of New York Stock Exchange new 52-week lows, where the 10-day average was 14 around the 5th or 6th of October. It's popped up to 56 with yesterday's figures in. So that's quite a jump in the number of new lows, and the number of new highs have been rallying from about the 22nd of August to a couple of weeks ago, and I think they topped the new highs topped out around the 13th of to 10th of October, and they are now dropping. So the new lows are rising and the new highs are declining. But I think we will have one more setback to those, to further extension of the negative side in the next, 5 days, 10 days max. Maybe we'll just keep going up. There's been nothing that's been able to stop it so far. And in the last 2 or 3 years, the only thing that has brought on intermediate level declines have been news items that were unexpected and mostly foreign. I remember when the Swiss unhooked from the euro, the Swiss franc, and that was a sudden and unexpected, and we got part of that decline, but it was really terrible in the FX market, in the currency exchange market.
So what you're
I think our worst decline was when the Chinese devalued the yuan, and we had a couple of thousand points in a week or so. But since then, nothing like this. Brexit was a 2 or 3 day down, which was quickly recovered. And the night that Trump won the election, the index futures were all down their 5% limit a little after midnight Eastern.
Let me interrupt for just a second, Arch, because we only have a limited amount of.
Speak a little louder, please.
Yeah, little. What I'm asking for, November 4th, you've got a supermoon near perigee, very powerful. What are you expecting on that date?
Well, that could be the turning point. If it goes down sharply 2 or 3 days into it, I would buy that day or the next day. If it's running up into that full moon, I would rather expect the decline to take place for the 4 or 5 trading days afterwards.
Okay, and then thereafter, what it seems to me you're describing is a potential blow-off top, the final thrust of a huge bull market we've had.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you're expecting that to continue through, actually giving us some type of a rounded top maybe, or some kind of a top between December and January. So the potential for long-term traders to start laying in hedges in that time period as they see accelerated volatility to the upside. Is that kind of, am I connecting the dots correctly with you?
Well, I'm not sure how that development from early December to late January is going to go. Normally, it rolls up and down, up and down, up and down, and a little higher, and then a little lower, and then you get a neckline break, and then you get a bear market in that order pretty much. But the first Mars cycle that tops is on December the 2nd, and it is one of the most powerful ones, and we could go straight up and then straight down for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, 2 weeks maybe.
All right, Arch, we've got to call it there. I think his phone just dropped out on us, but thank you for listening. That's Arch Crawford at crawfordperspectives.com. You've been listening to CEO Money with your host, Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. This segment is brought to you by our title sponsor, Tycon Partners. Talk to you again.